Hey dolls, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another episode of Freaky Friday. We hit 6,000 subscribers, you guys. I am so excited about that. Thank you so much. I appreciate your continued support. It means the world to me, especially when starting a new channel. And today, this is the look I have created for you. I was going for some more 60s vibes, and since summer is already here, I thought to wear a cute romper that I purchased at Forever 21. So really inexpensive, and I know you all are just going to love it. Before we move on to this video, as with every video, please engage with my videos. It'll really help with the algorithm, and it'll show YouTube that you all are really interested in these videos and enjoy them. And by engage, what I mean is thumbs up this video, comment down below, share with your friends, and watch the video through. If you don't have time to watch the video through, just pause it and then continue playing it later, because watch time is one of the top things that can affect creators. So, you know, if you can watch it through, great. But I understand they're long videos, so sometimes you just can't get through everything. But just keep engaging like you always do. If you do have stories to submit, please submit them to freakyfridays2019@gmail.com. And moving on, if you are not subscribed, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell notification to be notified when I upload videos. Okay, dolls, let's get into this story. Okay, dolls, so the first story is from DaCat, and it is titled Endless Night. One day, it was me, my cousin, and sister at the house alone. My mom and her husband went somewhere, and we were just standing in the kitchen. Me and my cousin, about 13 or 14, are talking about random shit kids talk about. My sister walks in the kitchen, doesn't say a single word, just stares at us. At first we were just like, she's being a weirdo, so we go and sit down on the couch. She's still in the kitchen, she starts to laugh, and we get a little scared, and we tell her to stop being an idiot. She doesn't answer, and it's dead silent after her laughing like a creepy person. Me and my cousin switch back and forth, looking at each other to looking at her. My sister pulls out a knife, looks at it, and smiles. We look at each other and book it out the front door. She starts chasing us. She went out the back screen door, down the stairs, and through the wooden gate. We almost ran into her because it's pretty equal when you go out the front door and back door. She missed us by just a little. At this time, we are scared shitless, crying, and are like, what the hell is going on? What do we do? We managed to run across the street where industrial businesses are, and we're both standing on the sidewalk. My sister is across the street where the house is on a hill, still holding a knife and staring at us with no emotion. Me and my cousin are like, we are fucked. No one is home. No one is going to save us, and we are going to die. We can't call anyone because we weren't allowed to have cell phones. We look back and she's completely gone. Poof into the night, somewhere we cannot see. We start running. We run across the street in the direction of a warehouse and apartments near the back of my house and a parking lot directly behind my house. It's pitch black. At this point, we are trying to get to the gate that has a hole in it to get to my street to look into the backyard to see if it's clear. We look back and do a double take, and she's walking towards us. As we start to panic and we start running probably faster than we've ever ran in our entire lives. My cousin goes first, and then I get caught in the gate. Oh, of course. In my mind, I thought I was done for. My cousin unhooks me and tells me to hurry up. Let's go. We get to the house. The backyard gate is open. We go up the steps, and I close the door and lock it. My cousin goes to the front door and locks it. We go straight for the bathroom and lock ourselves in. We wait for a bit. We don't hear anything, and I tell my cousin I'm going to go check it out. I close the door and my cousin locks it, and I go straight for the phone. But there is no phone. In the corner of my eye, I see someone run past the front door like they were the Flash. Then I hear a bang and look to my right, and it's my sister trying to pry open the glass sliding door where the stairs are. I go straight for the bathroom, screaming, "Let me in, let me in." My cousin finally lets me in. At this point, we are like, is this real life? We are scared beyond belief. We then hear a whisper at the door and something drag along the door. Chills go down my back at this point. My sister whispers, "Come out. I just want to talk to you girls." We don't say a word for a while. We are holding hands, traumatized. We hear a door shut and we think we need a weapon at this point. She has a knife, so instead of me going out alone, my cousin goes with me and we're back to back, like we are connected. We get to the living room and my sister opens the screen door, runs to us, knife in hand. We start bawling our eyes out and hugging each other for dear life, telling her to stop, 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 please, please, screaming our lungs out. She looks emotionless, black in the eyes. She raises the knife up, and at that moment, my mom's car pulls in and the headlights flash into my sister's eyes and she blinks and shakes her head and goes to the kitchen and puts the knife back and goes to the room, closes the door like nothing happened. I have no clue why stuff like this happens, but I've encountered this throughout my life. Ghost spirits, people with no faces. I feel like I'm sensitive to it, but what truly freaked me out was that night because it was someone that I loved and I had no power to ignore it or help her. Oh, that was fucking intense. Do you feel like she was possessed? Did you guys do any cleansings or at least try to cleanse her? Has anything ever happened? Did she remember anything? What did she say? I'm so curious. There are so many questions I have. You cannot leave us hanging like that. Thank you so much, Diego, for sharing your story. This next story is from Breanna. Hi, my name is Breanna. I'm from Anaheim, California. I'm a new viewer and I love your videos. Since they're really interesting and thanks to my sisters for introducing them to me, I have 2 stories to share with you. Oh, thank you for joining us and also thank your sisters. I love them and I love you so much. Seeing my late sister, a little background information to my story is I have a sister who passed away as a baby. She is a year older than me. The story takes place when I was in 4th grade. I would wake up early to get ready for school and daycare. When I would finish getting ready, I would go on my bunk bed. I had a top bunk, which was by the door to my room. I would always face the door, and one day I saw a girl around my age walk past it and would glance at me. Her face was sort of blurry, so I couldn't really pick up an image. It wasn't my younger sister because she was asleep. At first, I was a little creeped out. Then I got a warm, nice feeling. It happened every morning for about a week. I started to have a feeling it was my late sister. I was seeing her around her birthday, and that made me believe it was her. That made me feel happy believing it was her, since I had never met her. Every year around her birthday, she leaves an appearance that I see every year since that time. My older sister witnessed this. She was on her phone on her bed, which is across from mine. She saw something moving in the corner of her eye, and she looked, and it was my leg that looked like it was being pulled out. She said I would lock it quickly with my other leg, but she decided to record it, and once she got it on video, it stopped. She told me about it the next day and showed me the video, and I was a little creeped out since it does look like something was pulling on my leg with force. Those are my stories, and hopefully they weren't boring. Thank you for taking your time to read my stories on video or not. I love your videos and keep up the amazing work. Thank you so much, Breanna, for sharing your story. It was not boring. These stories are never boring. I just love to listen to your experiences because it's just something I can relate on so many levels with. So thank you so much. I honestly wonder what that was haunting you. That is freaking creepy. Thank you so much, Breanna, for sharing your story. This next story is from Vanessa, and it's titled Woman in the Doorway. Hey, Ashley, my name is Vanessa. I love you and your videos so much. I love you more, my love. I've been subscribed for about 6 years and love the content you are creating. Oh, thank you for sticking around for so long. My story is from when I was in 8th grade. I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw something. But first, let me explain the setup of my room. This house was set up so that if I was sleeping on the right side, my door was open. There was a short hallway that led to the kitchen. So when I was awoken, I saw standing in the doorway to the kitchen a woman. She had black hair that went past her shoulders with her head tilted down, almost glaring at me. Ooh. She was wearing all white. Her shirt and bottoms were cinched in at her elbows and calf area. I'm not sure what era they were from, but could tell they were older. She was barefoot in wide stance with her arms at her side. I remember seeing her right eye glimmering from the night light in the hallway. I was so scared, my heart started pounding. It felt as though it was shaking the bed. I pulled the covers over my head as I didn't know what else to do. I was trying to get my breathing under control. Every time I peeked under the covers, I could still see her there. I was petrified. When I woke up the next morning, I thought it was a dream, but I remembered that I had started to watch a movie to help myself calm down and get to sleep. When I checked the next morning to see if the movie was at the same place I had stopped it, and it was. This only confirmed what I had seen. To this day, I still have no idea who I saw or what the purpose of her visit was. Needless to say, that was from the night on. I slept with my bedroom door closed. I had experienced other things in that house, such as waking up in the middle of the night and hearing what sounded like dishes being smashed in the kitchen and seeing shadows around the house. My mom also had terrible nightmares at that home. I was so relieved when we moved out a couple of years ago. I hope you enjoyed my story and it wasn't too long. I love these videos. Thank you so much for sharing everyone's spooky stories. Love, Vanessa. That lady you're describing pretty much sounds like either La Llorona or that girl from The Ring. That's all I pictured. But that is so creepy that you saw her standing in your hallway just staring at you. I wonder who this woman is, what happened to her that she's still haunting that property. And her glaring at you? No, thank you. I'm also happy to hear that you guys moved out because some people actually stay in houses when things like that happen. So good for you guys. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for sharing your story. This next story is from Deirdre, and it's titled, It Told Me It Was Hiding. Hi, I wanted to let you know that I have been a fan for years, but for whatever reason, I completely lost touch with your channel. Probably the YouTube algorithm. I don't know why or how, but your videos started popping up again, and I was so excited. Told you it was the algorithm. I felt so bad that I had forgotten your channel. I partially blame YouTube, haha, but it's my fault too. Anyway, I only just learned of your Freaky Fridays and I love it. I have tons of stories that have happened myself. Here's one. I was living at my aunt's in Apple Valley, California back in 2001, I think. I was in the back bedroom that was used for storage and was also where the telephone was located. My 3 cousins, boyfriend at the time, and my aunt were all in the living room. Off of the living room is the hallway where 3 bedrooms and the bathrooms are. First bedroom was across from the bathroom and the other 2 were across from each other at the end of the hall. I was on the phone with my mom and standing just inside the hallway. The room was packed full of junk. There was nowhere to sit. So I was facing the room across the hall. The light is off and the door is almost all the way open. I started hearing someone whispering my name over and over and over. It was coming from the empty room, but I was ignoring it. I thought my PF was messing with me. The whispering continues, just repeating my name over and over and over again. Finally, I said, "What?" The voice whispers back, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm on the phone. What are you doing?" It said, "I'm hiding." I said, "Okay." So I continued talking to my mom for a few minutes and realized that I never saw anyone enter the bedroom. I tell my mom I have to go. As I walk out of the room, I am hit with a blast of cool air, but still don't think much of it. I walk into the living room and everyone is still there. One cousin was asleep on the couch, the twin cousins, and the boyfriend were watching TV. My aunt was sitting at the dining table. I asked my boyfriend why he was trying to scare me, and he just looked at me. I told him what happened, and he said they'd all been in the living room at the time. Sleeping cousin jumps off the couch and runs to the bedroom in question. He tore through the room to see who was hiding in there. The screen on the window was intact and didn't appear to have anything that was messed with. He looked everywhere. I don't know who or what the spirit was, and though it didn't scare me, it was happening. I was terrified. Sorry this is so long. Hope you get chills like I do when I recount this to others. This next story is titled The Invisible Man. Hi beautiful, my name is Demi and I am from Los Angeles. I just first wanted to say that I've been watching you since I was about 13 or 14 years old and I am 21 now, about to turn 22. You are an OG. And I'm about to turn 22 on July 15th, 2020. Oh, happy birthday. Happy early birthday, my love. I love you so much and I'll always continue to support you. Your tutorials have always been such a great help, as well as in helping me recreate pinup vintage hairstyles and clothing styles. So thank you for that. No, babe, thank you for watching and your continued support. My story. So I've always been intuitive when it comes to things supernatural. I'm not sure why, because I'm a big scaredy cat when it comes to horror movies, even though I love them so much, lol. And I think humans are the only creatures that people should be afraid of. But anyway, I have many stories to tell, but this one is by far my best one that I've experienced so far myself. My friends and parents believe that my house is haunted because they've experienced some things themselves. I believe it as well, but I'm used to it, and my mom has the house blessed before we moved in, so I don't think they are particularly bad spirits. Sometime in January of last year, it was about 2 or 3 a.m., and I was sleeping on my bed with my dog who was laying down at the bottom of my bed near my feet. My face and body was faced towards the wall on the left side of my bed, and I felt somebody watching me. It was like I had eyes in the back of my head, and I could see something. As I turned around to the right side of my bed where there was no wall, I saw a man who seemed about 50 to 70 years old, reaching his hand out to me and trying to talk to me. I could only see the silhouette of his head and body. He kept moving closer to the edge of my bed, with his one hand out, with his palm facing up, as if he wanted me to grab it. I wasn't scared, but I was just in shock, and as I sat right up, trying to make out if it was real or not, because I thought maybe I was dreaming, since I tend to have bad nightmares, night terrors all the time. But then my dog instantly got up in front of me on my bed and started barking directly at it. Ooh. The man disappeared out of nowhere and my dog stopped barking after that. And he stood by my side, laying down next to me the entire night. Soon after, it was morning and I was on my way to San Diego with my parents, and I still thought I just had a bad nightmare. But then as my dad stopped at a gas station to put gas, my mom asked me, "Hey Demi, why was Mad Max barking in the middle of the night?" I told my mom everything that happened, and she thinks that maybe it was my grandpa on my dad's side trying to talk to me, but I'll never know. Anyway, thank you for sharing my story. If I made it, and hopefully it was creepy enough for a scare. Oh, okay, so at first, definitely scary, but at the end, oh, so heartwarming. Like I always say, I love stories that have to do with seeing your grandparents. I miss my grandpa so much, so hopefully one day I can actually physically see him in this world. I've dreamt of him, but it'd be great if I can actually see him. So thank you so much, Demi, for your sweet, sweet story. This next story is titled The Ghost Boy. Hi Ashley, my name is Ivy. I've been watching your channel for some time now and love it. I have a few scary stories that, me being 32, I still have to sleep with a nightlight. I hope you like and choose one. Thanks for being fabulous. I have a few stories of places we've lived when we were kids. I've always been sensitive to creepy things happening to me, to a point of me thinking there was something following me. My first story. I've always heard noises, someone walking upstairs when there wasn't anyone home except me, knocking and scratching on the doors. I was always scared to be home, but I am the oldest, and being Latina means I got to do most of the chores, lol. When my baby sister was little, my mom asked me to go grab her bottle. It was around 3 a.m. I would always get an eerie feeling going down the stairs, like something was waiting for me. Our TV was next to the stairs, so when I came down, I was halfway past it when it turned on, static only. I didn't think much of it, so I wouldn't get more scared than I already was. I ran to the kitchen, did the bottle, scared that something else would happen. I hurried and finally got the courage to go past it. I was about to cross it and the TV turned on again. I turned it off and 2 seconds later, it turned on again. I ran upstairs and got this cold chill throughout my whole body. The TV never did it again. I never went around that time either. Second story. When my parents moved into the house they live in, I always felt there was something off. For one, the pool is filled with dirt and stone. I always thought that was odd. The rooms all have halls that lead to them that we can see from the living room. So one day, I happened to be watching TV in the middle of the night. Me being a night owl and all doesn't help. I saw a white shadow figure, like a lady in white, going into the hallway that leads to my room. I was scared because right after I saw another one, and this one was all black. That night, I felt someone breathe on my face. Third story. I fell asleep on the couch one night, so let me tell you, I never did it again. I remember waking up and looking at the clock for a few seconds. It said midnight. Then I remember dozing off again, to a very vivid dream of me waking up again and looking at the clock, to it spinning fast and stopping at 3. I remember that I woke up and was heading to my parents' room. This is still me dreaming, or so I thought. There is a coat closet and the door's open. I see a little boy come out asking me to go inside with him. There is a skylight right above it, so enough light was coming in for me to see him. All I was able to see though was he was like a shadow and he pulled me. I woke up with my hand hurting where he had grabbed me. To make the story short, a few weeks passed by and we had people over when someone went to my brother's room to grab the kids for dinner, and the only one there was a little boy sitting with his back to her. She came back and asked us who he was. She described him, and I noticed it was the same hair and body structure of the little boy I saw. Since then, we have seen that little boy a few times now. Okay, that is the second story where someone sees the lady in white. Definitely, I feel like it's La Llorona. She just travels to everybody. And the last one of that little boy pulling you into the closet, that thing is evil. I don't know what kind of feeling you got, but the fact that it wanted to pull you into the closet and then it does not want to show its face makes me very weary of it, and I feel like it's a negative entity. Have you been able to see his face? Hopefully he will go into the light or wherever he needs to go so he can stop haunting you guys. Thank you so much, Ivy, for sharing your stories. And the last story for today, more than bumps in the night and visitations. Hi Ashley, I'm new to your Freaky Friday channel, but I've been subscribed to your pinup channel since 2014. Oh, thank you so much, babe. I got married that year and we had a rockabilly wedding. Oh, so cute. That's how I found you. I just binge watched a bunch of your Freaky Friday videos and am inspired to tell my own paranormal stories. My husband and I run a local home-based dog rescue in Virginia. He bought our home in 2018 and I moved in 2 years later. We opened our rescue and took in our first foster dog, Paloma, in June 2010. She was very sick and unresponsive to many of the therapies we tried to help her, and we quickly learned she did not medicate well. The following spring, I learned of a holistic healing energetic workshop for animals. I took the class specifically with her needs in mind. For the first time in my life, I learned meditation. I had no idea what paranormal doors were about to open before me from taking this course. I quickly learned that I could see, feel, and sense energy around both animals and humans. I also learned that I could communicate with animals telepathically. It took some time for me to get my bearings, but I found a mentor in April of 2011 and also learned that I am a psychic medium. Most of my work is with animals that have crossed over. However, not people, personal choice. Thus began my spiritual journey. Fast forward to Christmas time 2011, we had a dog come into the rescue on December 24th. That was a very sweet girl, but she was very stressed out. We named her Noelle. That's so cute. Normally, a dog will eventually decompress up after a couple of weeks in a foster surrounding, but Noelle did not. 2 months into fostering her, she was only getting more stressed out, and our dogs began feeding off of this negative energy. We found Noelle another foster situation that suited her better, and shortly thereafter began the first in a series of interesting paranormal events. In late spring 2012, shortly after Noelle left our home, I took a trip to India with my spiritual mentor. When I returned, my husband told me that he had an odd experience during my absence in the home during the wee hours one morning. He said he heard several loud bangs on the bedroom door that startled him awake from a deep sleep. In his sleep fog, he thought it was me, briefly forgetting that I was in India. In an instant, his head cleared and he remembered I was away, and almost dismissed it as a dream. But when he saw that all of our dogs were on alert and the sound woke them up too, he felt a sense of urgency to get up, open the door, and confront whatever was on the other side. He was ready for action, a fight, whatever. It was him angry. Our master bedroom is enormous. He sprinted to the door and flung it open, only to find nothing, no one, an empty, quiet house. He looked outside, walked the whole house, but he found nothing out of place, and it was quiet and still inside. It freaked him out. He literally was able to relate to Noelle and found his behavior. It reminded him largely of the way she would approach things that were unknown. Defense, angry, and ready for action. A freaky parallel, no? About a month later, he left for a trip to New York, and I stayed back home to take care of the dogs. He left on a Thursday morning, and I took the weekend off to have a little staycation of my own. I was sound asleep with the dogs draped around me on the bed when a series of heavy and urgent poundings hit the bedroom door. I thought I too was dreaming, but it startled me out of sleep, and once again, the dogs were on alert. My husband always knocks on the bedroom door before he enters. In my sleep fog, I thought it was him, and he was waking me up thinking I'd overslept, so I yelled, "I'm off today, remember? It's okay." And then I remembered he had left the previous day. The same mystery banging on the bedroom door happened to me. I, however, just lowered my head on the pillow and got back to blowing Z's. LOL. When my husband returned from his New York trip, we discussed our experiences, and the similarities made us think. Our home is situated around battlefields and Civil War monuments. We wondered if perhaps my energetic work led in someone or something from beyond the veil. We looked up prayers and instructions on how to clear our home. We saged ourselves, our dogs, and every corner of the house, top to bottom. But when we got to the basement, we stopped praying for a moment to open the basement door, and my husband suddenly was unable to recite the prayer he was holding on a piece of paper in front of him that we had said easily 20 times. He tried 3 times. He would start and suddenly his words would get garbled, and he was tongue-tied. He sat down and looked up at me with a helpless look, and I said, "I don't know what's wrong. I can't say the words." At this point, I saged him again, put my hand on his shoulder, and we began to pray again. He was finally able to say the prayer in unison with me. Since the cleansing, we have not experienced any more banging on the doors in the night. Thank God. Since then, we have really amped up our spiritual protection practices. Still, we were shook. I hope these stories aren't too long to consider for your Freaky Friday videos, but thank you for reading them anyways and for providing an outlet for us to share these experiences with you. And thank you for sharing everyone's stories with us. I really enjoy hearing about other people's experiences, paranormal or otherwise. Keep up the great work. I'm excited for you to grow your channel. XO, all the best, Cheryl. Oh my gosh, those were such amazing stories. No stories are too long. If you want to send in multiple, please do. They're always so fabulous, and the more the merrier. First, thank you so much for taking in those animals. You and your husband are just incredible human beings. Thank you so much, Cheryl, for sharing your stories. So those are our Freaky Friday spooky ghost stories for today. I hope you dolls enjoyed them. We had some incredible ones, which we always do. So now we are going to move on to the outfit and hopefully unspook you guys a bit. So this is our Freaky Friday episode for today. Thank you, dolls, for tuning in and for your continued support. I hope you all enjoyed these stories. Let me know which was your favorite story by commenting down below. Have a fantastic 4th of July if I don't see you before then. And don't forget, I love you. Bye, loves.